Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Johnson. I'll be presenting a scenario for a B2C and B2B financial products and services company called United Bank, which has been in business for 75 years selling financial products. They're seeking to replace their current CRM with Salesforce. The Salesforce solution the CRM solutions that they currently use are partitioned by different geographical locations that are different proprietary systems with different highly customized processes. So we're going to unify with a single org using Salesforce here. They're also looking for a solution that tracks leads and sales pipelines and tracks engagement using the Salesforce platform as well. Some of the risks identified is that they have large data volumes, which will be mitigated using Salesforce Archive, and those large data volumes will be migrated to a cold storage, which is in S3. Some of the assumptions that are made is that Salesforce will be the system record for the CRM data, and then we'll have a core banking system that will be the system record for the bank data. The actors in the system will be the executives that will receive Sales Cloud license along with the branch managers and branch staff. They will all receive Sales Cloud license, but branch staff receive Salesforce Voice for the ability to make calls, outbound calls to external customers. The branch staff, I considered using Sales Dialer, but since this is an international company and it's outside of just the United States, we can't use Sales Dialer just for that. We also have contact managers and contact agents, both receive Service Cloud license and Salesforce Voice as well. Customers receive customer community license and for their access to their records, and third-party agents receive partner community license for access to lead records. The role hierarchy is partitioned by different branches, rolling up to executives for the branch managers. The contact center management and contact center staff will all be a part of the same branch within the role hierarchy. Moving now on to the system landscape, we have a single org, like I mentioned, that will have multi-language enabled with translations for German, Japanese, Chinese, and French. They will translate metadata using Translation Workbench with the translator, and that will translate the Visualforce email templates and custom labels. We'll also enable multi-currency for the ability for the conversion of the currencies for the internationalization of the org. The single org will have Salesforce Voice integrated with Amazon Connect. They will also have digital engagement for the ability for live chat to be enabled. We'll install locate into the single org as well for the validation of addresses and the generation of geolocations. And Salesforce Archive will also be installed for the ability for the cold storage of non-operational records. We'll also have Marketing Cloud enabled for the digital outreach and email templates that will be sent out to the customers and leads as we go along. That will also enable the customer engagement. The Salesforce mobile app will be provisioned along with the mobile publisher, mobile app for the internal users authorized using off-click of Pixie Flow. They will authenticate using Okta via using SAML protocol. P that will then federate identities from the Active Directory store as well as an LDAP store as well. There will also be a mobile publisher app that's provisioned for the external users. The external user will use the native credentials, and that will authorize using Okta Pixie Flow as well. There will be an ESB that enables an API-led approach to integrations that will then integrate with Salesforce as well as with the core banking system. That will also integrate with the data warehouse, which federates data from different systems and it displays in a dashboard format. There will also be an ETL that's provisioned by the data steward that migrates the data from the CRM solution and Salesforce, and the existing CRM that will be decommissioned into Salesforce and the creation of their records. Moving on now to the requirements, we have discussion here around the current system landscape, including the data warehouse, which is an Oracle database that includes that is really a federation of data from different aggregate systems, including aggregation of data from the sources. What we'll do is have that persisted for the reporting aggregation of data, but it's really a pseudo data warehouse, so it's not really a data warehouse. We're going to use S3 for the actual data storage. We have also the CRM solution here that will be decommissioned. In order to decommission the records, we'll first decommission the system. We'll make sure that the data that's moving in from the CRM systems that are partitioned by different regions will have their data cleaned up using the data steward. The data steward will partition an ETL system that will then have a staging table. That staging table will then be responsible for the deduplication and cleansing of records and the target schema alignment. The migrated data will then be migrated into Salesforce on a controlled cutover basis. We'll talk about that in a moment. We'll have duplicate rules that will, of course, also enforce the duplication, deduplication of records from the CRM solution. And then there will also be the address validation that will also be a part of the staging validation and enrichment. Locate will also be in place and installed within the Salesforce org. Locate will be able to validate addresses once they are entered in the solution and then generate geolocations as well. There will also be the ability for branch staff to track prospects and potential leads using the potential deals using the lead object as well as the opportunity object for the potential deals. Branch staff will log in not using their native credentials, but they'll log in using their credentials that are stored in the Active Directory store. They'll log in using SAML protocol, using single sign-on. The relationship between customers and their family and work locations will be facilitated by the ACR relationship. There will be a mini-term relationship between the customers and multiple customers. That'll be facilitated by the ACR. There will be a screen flow for the new bank account and 15-step process that will be within a screen flow, and then there will be UI validation to make sure that we are preventing errors. The mobile options will be facilitated for the external users using the mobile publisher app will be a mobile version of the customer portal. The entire CRM system has a issue with their data. We'll of course be applying the duplicate rules, and also the ETL process will be cleansing deduplicating the data. There will also be a single customer master record for the different customer records that are coming from the CRM solution. This will be creating a golden record within the system from the ETL process. The prospects and the sales opportunities will be tracked on the lead and opportunity object. The real-time address validation will be facilitated by Locate, which is a managed package that we've installed. Digital engagement will facilitate the web chat functionality, and then that will facilitate also live chat. That will be licensed for the service users or the contact center users that are logged into the system. There will be a frequently asked questions that is available from the customer portal for the contact center agents, actually. The frequently asked questions will be available for the contact center agents to refer to using knowledge articles. The Salesforce mobile app will enable the branch networks to record the prospects. They will just log into the Salesforce mobile app and then create lead records when they encounter a lead, and be able to create opportunity records from the Salesforce mobile app as well. The single org and record types will allow for the differentiation or the specific region, specific processes that are a part of the solution. That was the reason for the disparate CRM implementations. What we'll have is a single org that has multiple record types for the opportunity object that will then track the sales paths in the sales lifecycle stages, and that will then enable the region-specific processes. And then single sign-on will be facilitated by Okta, which will be the identity provider, and then that will federate identities from the Active Directory store, identity stores that are included in the solution. The social media engagement targeting different specific demographics will be enabled by synchronized data extensions that are part of the Marketing Cloud implementation. Marketing Cloud implementation will store the specific demographic data for customers based on their location and based on data that we collect as a part of the lead onboarding. Marketing Cloud page will allow for the branch staff to gather attendee information and create prospect records with basic contact information. I'm assuming that the contact information will also be entered manually by the actual prospects from the branches themselves. So there will be a Marketing Cloud page that will enable that. Branch staff can also just go into a lead record from the console and create lead records manually themselves. We'll deduplicate or prevent the duplication of lead records using duplicate rules. The verification of the customer address to make sure that it meets postal standards will be facilitated by Locate. And there will be lead assignment rules that will then assign the leads to the different branches. And then they will, once the lead is assigned to a specific branch queue, Salesforce Voice will enable the branch staff to call the interested customers directly from Salesforce using Amazon Connect, and then that will then be tracked as a call record that's associated with the lead. There will be an LWC map component that will render the geolocations for the different leads for the branch staff to be able to visualize that. That will be from the locate. The locate will then generate a geolocation that's stored on the lead record, so they can then view the different the locality and also the lead in relation to the different localities or the branches themselves. The branches themselves actually are stored in the solution, not on the not as an account, but they're just stored as metadata in the solution that will then render on the LWC. There will be a lead UI that has a screen flow that will then enable the branch staff to record key sales locations, sales areas, including a multi-select pick list for the insurance, investment, loan, and transaction, and then indicate if they're short-term or long-term objectives. I chose to use a screen flow here since it's a guided flow for the branch staff to be able to select, and then also save and return to at a later date. The lead screen flow will then include determines that's triggered based on logic for what data was entered in previous screens. That includes suggestions around the financial products for the lead itself. Those deterministic suggestions will be hard-coded into the screen flow itself and based on metadata that's stored in the backend. There will once the lead goes through the process, that will then update the lead with the recommendations that are stored as a part of the screen flow, so that the lead is then updated. Then that will trigger then the whenever the lead is recommended whenever the lead is created and updated with recommendations, that will then trigger a record triggered email via Marketing Cloud that will send the lead based on the lead email, an email from Marketing Cloud that will then send them the summation of the recommendations as a PDF itself. Once an opportunity is created, that will then populate with the close date of 2 weeks, and we haven't created the opportunity yet, but when an opportunity is created, that will then populate with the close date of 2 weeks from the current date when it is created. The third-party agents will be able to access the partner community portal. The partner community portal is enabled for them, and they will be able to log in also using symbol via into the third-party agent portal, and then be able to enter analysis records and be able to create leads themselves as well using the same screen flow. When the lead is created with the transaction type, so whenever it's created with the transaction recommendation from the screen flow, that will then convert it to a person account automatically. If for other transit types of financial products, the UB staff member will be able to convert the lead manually. That will then create a person account as well as an opportunity record. At that stage, then they will, once the lead is, or the potential customer is created as a person account, they'll then log in. They'll be able to log in using their credentials that they set up when they register. They will then be able to upload files that include the identification documents, passport, and proof of address. We'll have MuleSoft do intelligent document processing to classify the files that are being uploaded, to validate them, and to ensure that they are uploaded successfully. That will flag the person account as ready for the branch manager that will then manage the person account. So when the opportunity is created, or when the opportunity is created, that will then assign the opportunity to the branch manager of that region. That's going to be based on the role of the branch manager. So if we go back to the role hierarchy, we see that here that the branch manager is a specific role that is partitioned by the different roles by the different branches. The branch manager will then be assigned as the owner of the opportunity. Branch staff will then create the opportunity with the opportunity. Opportunity staff will track the bank account application with the opportunity object. The opportunity object will be owned by the branch manager, and then the OLI will track the different products that are being applied for. There's also the opportunity staging. So we have the different stages of the opportunity. The life cycle will be tracked on the opportunity stage and status. And then there will also be a validation rule to ensure that applications that are submitted are submitted by users that are over 18 years old. So there'll be a validation rule that will block that creation. We'll track that actually on the lead object to ensure that we're not creating opportunities for or applications for leads that are under the age limit. We'll also do, as a part of the validation of the identity documents that are uploaded and the identity intelligent document processing that MuleSoft enables. We'll also have the validation enforced there, where when a document is identified as under 18, we will have a validation rule that also blocks the submission of the opportunity or the approval of the opportunity as well. Closed one. The applications themselves can have 5 different applicants that are allowed per bank account. We'll have 5 different custom fields, or 4 different custom fields on the opportunity object, with the main applicant, the original applicant, as the account on the opportunity itself. And then the application at that stage, the UB staff member can then contact the applicant using a predefined email. That it will do that using Marketing Cloud email send with a template from the Marketing Cloud implementation. That includes request for information that they can reply to. They can reply to the actual email that's sent via Marketing Cloud, and then Marketing Cloud can receive whatever response that will then be posted, and that can be posted as an engagement record that is associated with the opportunity itself. Once the application can also be, if the application itself is a foreign investor, then it must be approved by the bank manager before it's allowed to get progress further. So what we'll do is validate if the investor is foreign. If it is a foreign investor, then we'll have an approval process on the opportunity before it is approved. That will then go to the branch manager based on the role. Once the bank account application is also, one other caveat here is that the government agencies can also flag a bank application that will be directly communicated to the core banking system. Core banking system will be updated, and that will then integrate with Salesforce via MuleSoft. MuleSoft will then update the opportunity as opportunity closed or lost. That will then close the application and cancel it as well. And then that will then notify the staff member using an email that will be facilitated by a recruiter flow that will then send an email to the staff member. The application, if it is closed, if it is completed and it's submitted for processing, the branch staff will then up the opportunity with the status of closed one. The application details are sent to the core banking system using a request and reply. When the opportunity is closed one, what will happen is that we'll have a request and reply with the core banking system. The core banking system, the reason I'm using request and reply pattern here is because if the core banking system has an error or if it's failed, then the bank system or the user who is approving the application needs to be informed immediately. So we'll have an error message that will then be displayed to the actual user. If it is successful, if the application is completed and the bank account record is then created, then we'll then update the opportunity with the account number, and that will create a contract that's associated with the account itself. That will include the record details per applicant. So we'll have multiple different, so say you have 5 different applicants on the opportunity, we'll have 5 different contracts that are created from the single opportunity. There will also be a scheduled flow for applications that are currently stale. If the application is sitting for 7 days, then there will be a scheduled flow that will send an email to the staff member for follow-up. Moving on now to that was the sales process. We're moving on now to the service process. We have the contact center agents that will need to be able to service customers via phone, email, and web chat. We have Salesforce Voice for that, so they can receive inbound calls. Marketing Cloud for the customer journey, as well as for the engagement, and also the web chat will be enabled by digital engagement. And digital engagement is not actually necessary here since we are dealing with service users, but I'm using digital engagement as well, assuming that web chat is not just web chat, it's also SMS. Screen flows will then allow for the contact center agents to search for the customer using their customer number, 4 digits of social security number, bank account number. So they'll have a screen flow that will then be able to allow for them to search. The screen flow will do request and reply for the with the core banking system as well. That will then return the customer number. Oh, sorry. The user will be able to create the customer if they choose to from a screen flow that will do request and reply. And if it does return successful or return a unique customer number as well, that will then be posted back into or updated back into the customer record that's created as a personal account. Customers can also raise service requests on their mobile device or portal. That will be a screen flow in the Salesforce mobile app, or sorry, not the Salesforce mobile app, it will be the mobile publisher app. Whenever a case is created, that will then be assigned via omnichannel based on skills-based routing to the agent. The agent will then, that will be based on the service request that is assigned, and then the capacity of the agent will be based on presence. The service requests and the SLA that's associated with the service request per customer will be based on the entitlements and the milestones for those entitlements. The entitlements are controlled by parent, and the specific service level agreement will be on the account itself as well. VIP customer requests will then be assigned to the service agent within 1 day. Otherwise, an email sent to the regional manager that will be based on escalation rules. Locate will make sure that we have a customer address that is validated in real time. We'll have a validation rule that if a customer is inactive, the customer contact center agent will be prevented from making changes to the record, so there'll be a validation rule there. There will be change data capture that will then make sure that any changes that are made to the address details are then synchronized to the core banking system. I'm assuming that the ESB can subscribe to the events, and then the ESB can mediate the protocol change from REST or from the platform of the pub sub model to the SOAP API that the core banking system supports. That will then facilitate the real-time updates. LWC filtering will enable the ability for the contact center agents to search for the bank account transactions. So we'll have the users just have an LWC that will then allow for them to search for different banks based on dates and account numbers. The contact center managers will be able to create employee discipline records. That will be just a separate object. We'll have OLS restrictions that will be enforced on the permission set that are assigned to the contact center managers that will allow them access to create and read them. And then the customers will have the ability to access frequent asked questions, modify the profile data, and crowdsource answers to questions from the customer community portal. The customer information will need to be replicated from the core banking system to Salesforce. So since it is operational data, we won't be able to store it directly within the core banking system and then just replicate it within Salesforce. We need to have those records also in Salesforce for the relationship with the opportunity records. So we'll have Salesforce have the records that are, we'll make sure that the ETL process loads the customer records into Salesforce. And then any updates to Salesforce need to also be replicated back into core, so that will be enforced within CDC. Salesforce will also be the system record for the bank account and the relationships to customers. That will be also enabled using CDC, that's pub sub. There will be a nightly batch data synchronization that will also update Salesforce with the records that are created within the core banking system on a nightly basis. That will be batch data synchronization. Data steward will cleanse the data that is stored currently within spreadsheets that include 1,000 opportunities of prospects. So that will just be a part of the ETL process that Informatica or another ETL will then facilitate. There will be a data warehouse that will federate the data from the systems, so including the core banking system and the Salesforce instance. The data warehouse will federate data for that visibility. There will be duplicate rules that will then facilitate, that will make sure that you have minimal duplication, and also the ETL process will deduplicate the records as well. Those are archive will archive any non-operational records, including the, for example, the leads that are invalid or opportunities that are closed lost, and those will then be archived to S3 buckets and then exposed via virtualization for persistence. Salesforce Archive will virtualize the data within S3. That includes the 5 billion service requests into Salesforce. That will, so once a service request is closed, that will then migrate the data into Salesforce Archive will have a policy that will migrate the data into S3 buckets and then virtualize them after the fact. So we'll keep only the operational case records within Salesforce at a time. Standard reporting will enable the branch staff and third-party agents to view the needs analysis and applications. The opportunity, and that will be stored, of course, on the lead and opportunity records. Opportunity reporting will enable the branch executives to view a dashboard of top performing branch managers that will be based on the opportunity pipelines of the volume and size application closed. That will be based on closed one of stage. Data virtualization will enable the customers to view the history of the service requests that they've raised. So even though they're stored in S3 buckets and they're closed, they will still be exposed via virtualization within the customer portal. And then we'll have a timestamp on opportunity to show how long the applications spend in different stages over time. That will be based on timestamps. We'll have different timestamps based on this per stage, and that will then record time in different stages. We have Okta that will federate identity from the two different stores, the LDAP store and the AD Active Directory store. That will then enable the single sign-on for the internal users. SCIM will enable the automatic deprovisioning and provisioning of internal users using Okta as well. Self-registration will be enabled via the portal for the customers to be able to access applications that they are associated with. And moving on now finally to the security requirements, we have the ability for branch managers and branch staff to only see customer records and all information of geographic location that will be based on the 10 regions that will be facilitated by criteria-based sharing rules on the account, on the customer account records. And then the implicit sharing, parent-child implicit sharing will enable the visibility of the opportunity and the contracts. Role hierarchy will enable the branch managers to view and executives to view the agent information. The permission set will enable the branch staff that are trained on application to create applications for high-risk products. So there'll just be a different record type for the opportunity object based on the risk level. We have private OWD on the case object, plus a hierarchy that will enable them to do that will restrict visibility of case records based on the third-party agents and the line managers. It will be the owner. The branch managers will be able to view these analysis records for third-party agents that they manage based on the ownership of the account that's associated with the third-party agents. So they're going to be partner community users, and they will be associated with accounts, and the branch managers will then own the account, and they will be able to view the accounts that are associated with them. The contact center agents will be able to view all the customers. That will be a public group with you all via criteria-based sharing rule. Public group as well will be able to grant access to the contact center agents on the case object. That will be also criteria-based sharing rules on the cases that are within the geographic location only. I'm assuming there are only 10 of them. OLS will facilitate, will restrict the deletion access to the contact center agents. Since they can't delete them. OLS will also make sure that the contact center agents can't view the contact employee discipline service requests. We'll also have the criteria-based sharing rules that will enable them to view the contact center managers and the executives. Surely they'll just have you all, but data masking will restrict the visibility of social security number. Knowledge will have a frequent asked questions case via sharing. Community users will have access via sharing requests, reporting via role hierarchy, and TLS for 2 SSL. That's it. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. So
Oh,
Right. Yeah, we can have a timer on this.
how long? 15?
Yeah, 15 minutes is good. Okay. So let's start with role hierarchy.
Mhm.
Uh, are you not placing any third-party agent, not giving them any role to a third-party agent and their manager?
So they will, yeah, they will have an external hierarchy that will, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they will have an external hierarchy.
Okay. Now let's go to the requirement on the scheduling an appointment.
Uh, where's that? Scheduling? I don't
Yeah,
know.
the appointment. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
So where the appointment data will be stored and how you're creating an appointment. Like,
Through social media channels targeting. Yeah, so they'll just send out email using market. Is that what you're talking
no,
about?
no, no, no. Can you scroll? Here it is. Yes.
Yeah, so they will schedule an appointment for them to come to their nearest branch office on a one-on-one needs analysis. Yeah, so they'll just have an event. They'll just use the event object, an activity record.
They will use event object, use event.
Yeah. So I would just add like the event object here. What's this?
Okay. Um, So now coming back to this requirement of marketing cloud, which you were saying, can you scroll up? So why you think here we need marketing cloud? Why cannot we do this through campaigns?
Yes, so they will have the ability for them to do workshops through social media channels. Social media channels are only facilitated by, I'm assuming that we need to have some ability for them to have like a social, um, what is it? Social, what is the tool in Marketing Cloud? But there's a tool in Marketing Cloud for social media channels and to be able to time and to orchestrate their social media campaigns through Marketing Cloud.
Okay, but on the second requirement, they gather information and create a prospect at the workshop. UB branch staff attend information can create a prospect record with basic contact information. So where will that information be stored? Like all the, but even if you're using Marketing Cloud, it can start with campaigns object on the Salesforce, right? And from there, it is connected with your Marketing Cloud.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you could use you can use campaigns. That's a good fit. I just chose to use Marketing Cloud and just leads. But yeah, you could also store the campaign and also campaign members as a part of the campaign for tracking that in association. But also, this is also through social media, so it's not really like there's not really a call out of having like campaigns here.
Mhm.
It just talked about social media channels, so that could be not necessarily associated with a campaign, I suppose.
Okay. If you use Marketing Cloud and through social media channels, your prospects are coming into sales. Where is it getting stored?
It's getting stored initially as a data extension in Marketing Cloud, and then that's synchronized with Salesforce.
Which is lead object, I assume, right? Okay. Just to understand your understanding on locate, how does locate if the data is coming from ETL, all the customer, will it call locate APIs or how will this locate be working to create a geocode for the customer and will give you the proper address? How does it work?
Locate, I believe, has its own internal mechanism for returning and validating address, um, like validating an address that entered in Salesforce.
So
I don't know the exact. It
because
has
if
its.
you're using screen flow, then trying to understand how the locate will work, you will call the API or method of locate.
Locate is a managed package, so it includes components that will include, I believe, address input fields.
Okay. Now coming to a requirement where they say that the need analysis is done on the object, like on the lead, based on the sales area, like insurance, investment, transaction. They ask questions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's there only. Can you scroll up? We'll come to this one. Yeah, here only. Where is that part? Yeah, on the top. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I know what you said. You said that you are capturing all this in lead object, right?
Yes.
So which means they are restricted to have only one time this questionnaire. Second time we cannot do it. So it's only one time.
I believe they can store not just like they can store in bet. It's like a multi-select pick list, so they can express interest for multiple different things.
Yeah, so I assume it's gonna be like they choose insurance related questions and that will be shown on an insurance section, then investment section, then loan section. They're related questions on the lead.
Yeah. Yes.
Now after that, you're saying the financial product suggestions will be done through ScreenFlow with deterministic suggestion. Maybe here, this is pardon my knowledge. I do not know what deterministic suggestion is. It's like Einstein.
No, it's just logic based, like if then.
Oh,
So if they select insurance, then we'll show whatever. If they show investment, we'll show another. But yeah.
So lead with recommendation, and anything which you accept, then you will trigger an email. If it is happening on Salesforce side, do we still need Marketing Cloud to send an email here?
Yeah, because they're not necessarily users yet at this point. So they're not users, they're just leads. So it's not scalable to have it sending emails to, like, Salesforce is not a marketing tool. Then there's limits on the number of emails you can send out using record trigger flows. You can't just use Salesforce to send mass emails out to emails that aren't associated with users.
I understand. Do you remember how many emails they can send?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's pretty low though, actually.
I think it's 2 million something. But I don't know it's per day or per month. Even I need to remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's scalable.
So on this one, the customer should receive a summary of conversation. Where is that summary of conversation being logged?
The summary of the conversation I'm assuming that the conversation itself is like just the recommendations that were selected as a part of the inquiry. So it's not necessarily like a summary, an AI summary of a conversation that happened. If we wanted to have an AI summary of the conversation, then we need to have the Salesforce voice be able to record and transcript the conversation, and then have AI integrated that will then produce a summary that is then posted back to the lead record that's included in the triggered email within Marketing Cloud.
Okay. That's pretty different. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's possible.
it is possible. Yeah. That's very deep thought you thought. Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm focusing on that for my clients. So I actually do this.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm doing like agentic orchestration stuff right now.
okay. So going to this bank account application process. So when the transaction type is a financial product, okay. Transaction type. Let me see my notes.
Yep, it's this section right here, right?
Okay. For the deal that a transaction type financial product, the UB bank staff can open account on the spot or lead. Where are you exactly getting this transaction type of the financial product?
Yeah, so it's just a selection that's made on the lead record, right? It's based on that transaction type, this key sale area that's
Okay.
selected here. So what we do is then convert it directly to a person account and a closed one opportunity that is then communicated downstream to the core banking system.
So they will basically you're talking about a conversion here,
Yeah.
not the bank account. Okay.
I'm converting it directly to because it's really just creating an account already. And the other case is we don't create an account automatically because they are investment,
Mm-hmm.
insurance, and loan,
Okay.
which are not, they require additional approvals.
Okay. So let's scroll down.
Let me know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hold on here. Can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah, here there was a little confusion. Yeah, let's stay here. Yeah, some confusion was here on the opportunity side that said that the lead is converted into an account, okay? And then UB Staff Manager converts the prospect to a customer record.
Yes.
So once they convert the prospect to a customer record, so on the first and second point, they both are converted to customer record, which is a person account plus opportunity. At this stage, prospect must identify, they will do registration plus file upload, okay? Now, the third person agent converts the prospect, converted application should be assigned to a branch manager. So you will assign that opportunity to a branch manager, right? You assign
Yes.
to branch manager.
When an opportunity is created, it automatically gets owned by the branch manager for that region.
But in the next, they're saying the branch staff creates a bank account application, which customer need access to an account and bank account products. So here you're going to opportunity, but that opportunity is already assigned to a branch manager.
Yep.
How will you get access?
The branch staff will have access to the different accounts or the accounts that are created because they have access via the criteria-based hiring rules that are on the that are per region.
So by your means, converted application is nothing but the opportunity. Okay.
Yes. And they'll have in the criteria-based sharing rules will grant them access to the opportunities because they will have the access via the implicit sharing.
Okay. So once you create an account, like from an opportunity, you create a bank account. Okay. Where that the account number gets stored? You said on opportunity.
The account application is the opportunity. So the account application is capturing the account application is the opportunity itself. And what you're asking is where we store the bank account number.
Right.
The bank account number is stored on the opportunity as well.
Shouldn't this be on account or somewhere else? Like, because opportunity, you think it's a right place to store the bank account number?
Where do you see the account number being created?
I think down somewhere you mentioned about if you can do Control F.
Okay. I think the number is what is coming from the
CBS.
It's coming from that core system, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's on the contract. That's on the contract when the contract's created. That's what's being created when where is the account number? Here it is. Yeah, account number. Yeah, so that's the bank account number is on the contract because and a person can have multiple different bank account numbers, right?
Yes, but one bank account number can also be owned by 5 applicants. How you're handling that part then?
One bank account number, no, it's generated per bank account. So if you have an application that has 5 different people on it,
Right.
then we have 5 different contracts that are generated. Contracts have the same bank account number.
They will have
But
same bank account number. Yes, so 5 different contracts with same bank account number. So if you ever want to know with the bank account number search what all the account holder names, how will you do that then?
Well, it's a management relationship, right? You can have multiple different bank accounts, bank account numbers for the same person, for the same customer, And the same customer can have multiple different bank account numbers, right?
Right.
So that's why I have it on the contract so that the bank account can have multiple different numbers, and the contract itself can have the same bank account number so that it facilitates the ability for them to have the same bank account number for the same person or for different people. So if you wanted to search for example, this for one bank account number, who's assigned to that, for one bank account number, who's assigned to that bank account number, what you do is you'd have, I think I called that out as an LWC as well, or ScreenFlow, that they can search for the bank account number using a ScreenFlow, and that will return all the contracts with the same bank account number.
Okay. And why we are not thinking of global search here and instead we are using ScreenFlow?
Yeah, so that they can then filter more easily, right? They need to be able to filter, don't they?
Okay. And
Yeah.
you're talking now, let's talk about social security number. So you're saying that social security number has to be encrypted somewhere. It was a requirement.
It's masked. So it's not.
Mask. Yeah, you said data masking, correct.
Mhm.
But for some of the users, it has to be shown, and that requirement talks about that. So you did not tell me about it.
For some of the users, it has to be shown
Yeah, and is only viewable by branch staff.
by branch staff. It doesn't really call out if it's the last four or if it is. Yeah, we just have it as a masked field. And it shouldn't be stored as clear text, so it needs to be encrypted. So yeah, we just use data masking that's built into the platform for that purpose. We don't need Shield for this purpose though.
Yeah, but how do you do data masking in Salesforce?
Yeah, it's a configuration on the field level.
You mean to say text is encrypted field, correct? Classic text encrypted field.
I think no, there's a flag on the field if you
Yeah,
do it.
I mean, we're talking about same thing.
Yeah. You can flag it as encrypted. You can flag it as masked, and then that will then mask the field.
So what do you store on OLIs when the bank account is created?
What do I store on what?
OLIs, like opportunity line item and the converted application, then what do you store in OLI?
Oh, the OLIs are the
If you,
different
yeah, I know you're
needs
going.
that are being identified here. So we have the bank account products that are identified during the needs analysis. That stores the different account products that they're interested in and applying for.
Okay.
And so that would be associated with a price, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's stored, the pricing is stored at the price book entry level. And then the price book, I'm assuming, is going to be per country or per region.
Okay, there was a requirement regarding the high risk product. Can you control F high risk?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only certain brand to introduce to application.
So we have permission set, record type access. Permission set restricted record types.
Yeah, there was another requirement opportunity with high risk.
I don't see
Okay.
maybe risk.
What if opportunity is created and product is chosen high risk?
I don't see risk anywhere else.
Okay.
Maybe where else is it?
I think there was not high risk. It's something like in opportunity, there's a product type with special, something like special. Once the opportunity is created, there was some kind of a different type of product that high risk. No? Okay. Okay, let's go to that CC agent. You said they can do view all the requirement. And then you also mentioned criteria based sharing there.
Yeah, so the contact center agents can view all customer. I would just change it so that we're not overloading with criteria-based sharing rules. We just do ownership-based sharing rule, and just share the role for contract generations.
Okay. Okay, and let's say where we talk about the bank account, what about the other products once the opportunity is closed won? For example, for the insurance, they are also selling the credit cards and all those things, financial products. What about those? Where are those things end up into?
What would do?
So this UB Bank is selling financial products, right? Like credit
Yes.
card, debit card, loans. So for contract, you told me that Nikhil, it will be stored, a bank account number will be there. But if they have a credit card information, where will that information will be? Like for example,
Yes.
running 5 credit cards.
Yeah, so it's just masked. It's not going through. It's an interesting question. Good point. We're not necessarily storing credit card information directly in Salesforce, though. I'd imagine we wouldn't store it. We'd be stored in the core banking system.
That's okay, but at least need to show as Salesforce is an engagement tool. But you need to know, okay, these are the 5 credit cards they hold with some expired, some this, and they wanna all
Does
these.
it say that? Does it say you need to expose that in Salesforce, though?
It says that in the need analysis, what type of things they wanna interested in, like insurance, loan.
Where does it say we need to store numbers in Salesforce?
No, I'm not talking about numbers, but I'm talking about these products.
Okay.
So where will that product information will be end up like? Or I can simply ask like, for example, in OLI, you select, okay, they are interested in 2 credit cards, or they're interested in a house loan, they're interested in insurance. So once opportunity is closed, one OLI is done, then what?
Then we create the contracts for the different agreements.
And contracts are okay. What about assets also? Do you think asset would be relevant here?
I didn't see a need for an asset because I didn't talk about having financial assets stored in in Salesforce. I think I was assuming that the assets are stored in the core banking system because that's the system record for the financial products that are eventually sold, right? And so if we go back here, we have bank data that's stored in the core financial banking application. And so I don't need to store that also in Salesforce.
I understand to a point that all the financial transactions are stored in core bank, even credit numbers, everything stored there. But for contact center agent, if they call, hey, this credit card is not working or something, there must be in system of engagement, which is a Salesforce, they should at least show these, okay, they hold 5 credit card customer, these are the products or assets, and they can show last 4 digits of credit card or something in asset. That's how
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd assume that that would be something that if that was something they needed, it would just do a request and reply from Salesforce.
Yeah, which you're doing for the transaction, which I think is a good approach. Yeah, I think that that is it. Just can you tell me what are the LDVs you have in your ERD?
Yeah, the LDVs was the case object and the transactions, which the transactions are stored in the banking system. Customers are stored in Salesforce. This is obviously an LDV here, which is like 2 million, I think, or 20 million,
20 million.
which is, and so what we'll need to do is make sure that we are first leveraging custom indexes and that we are only storing customers that are active customers and not storing the rest in Salesforce. But we need to keep the customers that are active in Salesforce to be able, since they are operational records and they need to be active in Salesforce as customers. So if they are an inactive customer, then we need to be proactive with archiving them into S3 buckets using Salesforce Archive.
Okay, and what about the cases?
The cases as well. Once I think I mentioned that once they're closed, that we archive them as well, and they were virtualized later in the platform.
Okay, I think I'm good. I'm done.
Okay, cool.
Few things were good actually, better than what I thought. So overall, it was good.
Thank you.
But the things where you already know, things where I felt something different. Yeah, I
Oh,
always, yeah.
I can tell that you have the asset in your object model.
Yeah, you can tell by my questions. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.